Hello, everybody. How are ya? Welcome to episode 87 of the Brent Pella Show. Soon to probably be called the Vibecast with Brent Pella, because we're switching up the vibes, baby. We're keeping good vibes, but we're switching up the name of the vibes. Today's episode was really fun to make, really fun to record. Had an awesome conversation with a good buddy of mine, Sohrab Forouzesh. He is a stand-up comedian based out of Chicago. He's been spending some time in LA. We've done a lot of shows together in the past. He's hilarious, first and foremost. So go check him out, Sohrab Forouzesh. First name spelled S-O-H-R-A-B. Check him out on Instagram at SohrabIsBrown, which is funny in itself. Had a great talk about comedy, life, the current state of political climate stuff, and all that cool, fun stuff. And it was fun, man. It was just a good time. He's just a great dude. Talked about food. It was fun, like candy. We had a great time. It was a fun vibe. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. Support the sponsors. They support me. I support you. You support each other. And then the world becomes a happier place. All because you went to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella. They're doing a massive discount offer for the month of November. So go check them out. Highly recommend a magnesium supplement in your life. The average American diet is low in a lot of vitamins and minerals, magnesium being one of them. I'm not just talking out of my ass about this. I actually do the research and look it up. But I highly encourage you to do your own research and see what you might be lacking in and how you can better optimize your own physical and mental health to live a happier, vibier life. You know what I mean? I take magnesium pretty much every day, especially on days with a heavy workout. Sometimes I'll pop an extra capsule just to give myself the added benefits on an even deeper level. Anti-inflammatory benefits, lower your levels of cortisol to help reduce stress, promote relaxation. Magnesium is great. Magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella. Now, onward with this episode of the soon-to-be Vibecast with Brent Pella. Please welcome and enjoy this conversation that I had with my good buddy, Sohrab Forouzesh. You always sound like you're smiling.
I learned that in school.
Did you really?
People can hear it.
People can hear the smile.
Yeah, people can hear it.
Yeah.
It's a Midwest. It's also a very Midwest thing to do. You're not from the Midwest, so
I'm not, so I am always frowning.
You're frowning.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're frowning constantly.
I frown all the time.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in Chicago?
No.
Where did you grow up?
I was born overseas, but I lived in Michigan.
Okay. And where were you born?
Iran.
Okay, cool.
What are you, the cops?
Hey, man. Hey, you're coming in here with a tracksuit on.
I didn't come in here with it. That's my own fault.
Anybody that wears a tracksuit on a weekday morning has done something wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fair.
Yeah. No, one of my best friends that I grew up with was born in Afghanistan. So he's helped me like shape my views toward the world and like what's going on out there.
Were you a huge racist before?
Yeah.
Wait, and then he helped you get on. He was like, "No, bro."
I was the worst at race stuff. Yeah. And then he was like, "Hey, man, chill." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I kind of learned from him. Just the same way you learned that people like people who smile when they talk.
Yeah.
I learned maybe don't be racist.
Yeah. That's a good. They don't teach you that in school. Unless you go to one of those fancy liberal arts schools, they'll teach you not to be racist. When
did you move to Chicago? Or did you grow up in Chicago?
I grew up in Michigan.
Grew up in Michigan?
Yeah, right when I graduated college.
And college was?
Western Michigan University.
Were you doing stand-up in college?
Yeah. It was awful.
Well, everybody's bad.
It was a generally terrible experience.
Is anybody good at stand-up in college? I don't think so.
I know a couple college students who are really good at it.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
There's a Chicago comic. She's in college, and she's probably like one of the funniest comics we have.
Wow.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Cool. What's her name?
Maddie Weiner.
Wiener.
I think it's Maddie Weiner, but I don't like saying Weiner.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Maddie Weiner. She's funny. Look her up. I think she just got JFL.
Nice.
But she's a college student.
Cool.
She's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, sometimes I've done.
It's a bummer, right?
It is a bummer. I was too scared. I was too scared to do stand up in college. I just made a couple of dumb videos, and then somebody was like, "Hey, those are pretty funny. You should do the stand up club."
Were you a video guy in college? Were you a tech guy? You bringing all your gear?
No, I didn't know a lot about the tech stuff because we didn't have any production classes in college. But I did a couple of like comedy videos in college, like Lonely Island style comedy music videos. But I was always too scared to do improv or be on stage at all.
Is this going to pick up my heavy breathing? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This is my least favorite part of doing
Just
podcasts.
don't breathe into the
Well, you're like a CrossFit guy.
I kind of.
So you're judging me.
No, I don't judge.
You judge.
Judging is for the poor.
You don't like fat people. Admit it. Admit it right now on your podcast, Tuesday morning. Say you don't like fat people. Tell the truth. You don't like fat people.
You already got me to admit that I'm extremely racist.
Yeah, now admit that you
and
are
now I have to be fat phobic.
Yeah.
Isn't phobic a weird word?
It's
it
a
means
weird.
You're scared.
Yeah, that one's funny when it comes to fat.
Shouldn't it be? Yeah, right. Like, oh no, Santa!
I'm trying to work on a joke about how when I fall down, it's an issue. Like I wish me falling down wasn't an issue, but me falling down, like,
dude, falling down for
people are like,
the
where's
heavy
my kids? Yeah, the heavy. See,
for the heavy.
You hate fat
people. It's I learned this. I learned that it's like a huge fear. Also, are we recording? Yes. I learned that it's a huge fear because on Wild and Out, there's a guy, Radio Big Mac, who's like 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Awesome dude, super funny, really cool and nice. And they did a bit in one of the games on the show where we're all like seated at classroom desks. And then when it's his turn to talk, he sits back down and the whole thing shatters.
Yeah, that's a big fear of mine.
Yeah. But but after he did it, he was like, yeah, for us heavies, that's a big fear. So he kind of like broke through that fear. That's another reason why I love the show, is because they break through these stereotypes and fears using comedy. But
that's great.
He smashed the desk and it was hilarious. He didn't tell anybody. Literally nobody knew about it. And that's when I realized.
Sometimes I'll break a chair and then the only thing keeping me propped up is my thigh strength.
Wow.
I'm too embarrassed to let anybody know.
And then are you just like seated at the dinner table for an hour and a half?
For an hour and a half.
Doing a squat?
Doing squats. It's a miracle I'm not.
Why is Sohrab shaking? He just really likes the turkey.
It's breaking a chair is fine. Breaking a picnic table is the worst.
Oh, man.
Because that's a lot of people are involved.
How do you break a picnic table?
You're just fat and you sit on a picnic table.
Really? Like the bench part?
Yeah.
But then you would have to, not you, but the general you, would have to sit on the part of the bench that has that other
that's
support.
that's what I did. It happened to me once. And then everyone wants to pretend like we can share the blame for breaking a picnic. But you know who they're looking at, right?
What do they say? Like, oh.
No one said anything, but I could just tell the energy on the remains of the picnic table had shifted against me. The tides had shifted against me. It's like when you shit yourself on a bus. It's not your fault. It's everybody's problem, but it's your fault.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But let me ask you this: do you feel good? Also, this podcast was not supposed to be about your overall health,
man.
But now that we're here, I'm
trying to lose weight.
Are you?
I'm doing stuff.
I
went for a hike.
Hikes are good.
It was the fucking worst.
Have you looked into any like alternate ways of doing stuff? Alternate foods?
Have you just looked into?
Into water and air?
Yeah. Have you looked into just being less? Like just being less of you.
Being less.
Just be less of you.
Well, I do intermittent fasting a lot. And I'm pretty.
I thought that was bad for you.
No, it's everybody's different. There's no thing that's going to help anybody, right? So even if you just go like low carb, high fat, intermittent fasting, whatever,
that's
high
when
protein.
You don't eat for like 16 hours.
Yeah, that's usually the
one meal,
recommended.
16 hours off.
Well, I when I do it a couple times a week, and I'll do 14 to 16 hours of no eating. But then during that 8 to 10 hours of eating, I'll eat throughout those hours. I'll have snacks. I'll have 2-3 meals.
So it's not one meal and then 16 hours off.
No, but that is one way to do it. But a lot of people, everybody mixes it up and does it differently based on what's best for them. So you just have to like test a couple different ways. But realistically, if you don't eat 3 to 4 hours before bed, and I am a doctor, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't
I remember that from the last college show we did.
Yeah.
You're definitely a doctor.
Oh, shit. But when I don't eat 3 to 4 hours before bed, and then I don't eat 3 to 4 hours after waking up, I'll start building this tolerance for hunger, and it just gives me like a better mental energy. I don't get fog for the week anymore if I do that 2 or 3 times in a row. Yeah.
What's in your cup? Is that mud?
This is coffee. This is no, it's my own mud. It's got a bunch of cacao. It's got reishi, cordyceps, and a bunch of mushroom powders.
I thought you were just pounding chocolate milk, and I walked there and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this guy knows how to party. And then I was like, oh, he's like a CrossFit
dude,
guy.
how good was chocolate milk in junior high?
Oh, it's still good.
I haven't had it in years.
You haven't had chocolate milk in years?
It's part of the diet, baby.
Bro, let's go.
Part of the diet, dude.
Let's go to Ralph's.
I do cacao now. I do cacao. It's an adult chocolate milk. But it's that spiritual Burning Man chocolate milk, dude. It's that chocolate milk you drink when you're wearing a leather thong in the desert and you're calling yourself Princess Flamingo solstice. It's what
Princess
you drink.
Flamingo solstice?
Yeah, it's that's my festival name. It's what you drink. Cacao is an adult chocolate milk.
But it doesn't taste like chocolate milk.
But you lose your taste evolves though, right? I mean, maybe not with chocolate milk, but as an adult, I feel like I'm drawn to things that represent maybe like a childhood nostalgia, but have a more mature intention behind them. For example, cacao.
Okay.
I'll give you another example. Used to eat tons of Cheetos and drink soda when I was in like junior high.
Yeah.
Now the soda
Were you a fat kid?
No, because I played sports and I just have my genes were not in tune for gaining a lot of weight.
Interesting.
But I would drink a lot of soda, eat a lot of chips, and now I found this soda called Olipop, and there's another one, and it's like a probiotic sparkling soda with no sugar. But the flavors, there's like a root beer one that is comparable to Hanson's root beer.
Hanson's makes good root
right.
beer.
And I love them because my mom was a hippie and gave me a bunch of Hanson's when I was a kid up in Arcata. It was the only soda I would drink.
Your mom's a hippie?
Yeah.
Did you grow up on a compound?
I grew up with compost in my backyard.
But not on a compound?
Not...
Like
no.
a hippie compound?
No. Not in a... No. Okay. No. But I did go to a lot of Grateful Dead shows.
Yeah. You did?
Oh, yeah.
When Jerry Garcia was still around?
Yeah.
People say I look like Jerry Garcia.
Yeah, you kind of do.
I
That's
know,
funny.
It's a bummer.
That's funny.
When they play in Chicago, all the old hippies will sing, Jerry Bear.
That's so funny,
you look like
dude.
Jerry, brother. You look like
you got to do a video of that.
I don't know anything about it.
You got to do like the Iranian Jerry Garcia.
I hate their music.
Iranian music?
No, Jerry Garcia, Grateful Dead. I cannot
do?
stand their fucking music.
Why?
I like metal. I don't know. I like punk and like I don't like jam bands.
What the? But
I don't like jam bands.
But if you listen to them on Spotify, they're not a jam band.
Tool is the only good jam band.
But that's live. If you listen to them on Spotify, you can go track for track and get different experiences per track.
All right, give me an album.
I will give you an album.
Because I ask Grateful Dead fans all the time, like, give me an album. And they're like, well, there's really no album. I have to, like, burn you a mix.
No, fuck that. Well, yeah, I mean, the greatest hits. Just listen to Fire on the Mountain on repeat for 10,
Are you a Fish guy,
10
too?
hours. No.
Okay.
I don't have the capacity
to
have Fish in my life as well as Grateful Dead.
Oh, you just don't have time. You don't have time for it.
I don't have the time. I don't have the time, dude. I give the Grateful Dead a lot of my energy. I give Stevie Nicks a lot of my energy.
Stevie Nicks is great. I like Stevie Nicks.
Yeah. Big Stevie Nicks guy.
Yeah. We can agree on that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the.
What's the chips replacement? You said the soda replacement.
Yeah. So the chips, for Cheetos and Doritos is now like healthy chips. You know what I mean? Made out of like pea protein isolate and like other stuff, but it's tasty, dude. And like this cheesy puff.
What?
Dude, Cheetos are delicious, but that
like
you are literally what you eat. Everything that you put inside your body turns into your cells and energizes your cells.
This is annoying because you also fed me a delicious meal, and I can't even be like, I like to eat food for the taste because you also like to eat.
But I do. See, I'll start sounding, and I know this about me.
When was the last time you had something unhealthy?
Something unhealthy?
Yeah, when was the last time you ate something unhealthy?
Oh, I eat unhealthy all the time.
What was it?
It was this past week.
I hit a banana
when I was in. It had brown spots, so that means the sugars had more time to articulate inside of the banana.
Is that a thing?
That's the thing. You should only eat greenish bananas because they have less sugar and more prebiotic or gut helping enzyme bacteria.
Bananas help you poop?
Bananas can, if they're not overly ripe, they can support your gut because they have a lot going on in the green banana that the browner banana does not. Because the browner banana has developed its sugar, so it's actually higher in sugar, whereas the greener banana can help your digestion.
So what was the unhealthy thing you ate? And then you got to tell me about. Welcome back to my podcast, guys, where I have local sex offenders on to tell me their side of the story. We're talking about diet.
That's a hilarious podcast idea.
Yeah, just have local sex.
Creeping in the dark with Sohrab.
What went wrong? So what was the unhealthy thing you ate?
So here's the thing, and I got to be self-conscious here because I come off sometimes when I talk to my friends like a know-it-all, like prick, but I really truly am not trying to be condescending when I talk about this stuff.
I don't find you condescending at all.
Thank you. But in today's world, when you start talking from like a status level of health, it sounds like you're talking down, and I don't mean to do that at all.
I just think this stuff sounds gross.
Sure,
That's
and
why
that's
I don't
fair.
find it condescending.
But I would recommend it. So the last thing I ate that's unhealthy, and I eat unhealthy all the time, not on a daily basis, but like a weekly basis.
Carl's
I'll have
Jr.?
a couple things that are absolutely not. It's more like no, I know the fast
said the
food
same
that I
thing
just
when I
had.
asked if I could bring my black friend over. Absolutely not. Not happening.
You cover the ratio that I can have inside of my home.
Fair enough. This is
on a daily basis.
This is Malibu or wherever we are.
Yeah.
So what was the thing? You won't tell me what the thing was.
It was Raising Cane's.
Oh,
chicken
that's
spot.
okay. That's
So
pretty unhealthy. All right.
It's fried chicken. You know, it's not super fried and crispy and KFC
It's pretty good,
status,
yeah.
but it's fried. It's fried chicken. I have a crazy bad sugar habit.
You have a sweet tooth.
I have the worst sweet tooth.
Sweet ice cream, candy. What do you do?
So the problem is I don't eat it often, but when I do, I'll have like a pound of candy or like a
What's your
pint
candy
of
go-to?
ice cream. My candy go-to is like candy store candy in the bins. So
Okay.
Because it's fresh. It's
Gummies?
more, a
You
little more
like
fresh.
gummies?
Sour Patch
Me
Kids.
and my
Sour
long-term
Ropes.
girlfriend have worked in the candy industry. So
Have
I'm
worked in the candy industry? What do you
absolutely.
mean? What are you, fucking Willy Wonka?
I worked for.
Were you an Oompa Loompa when you were young?
I worked for the. I was a regional sales director for a gum company while I was in Chicago briefly. Well, for like 4 years.
What do you mean gum company?
It was a Canadian gum. It was healthy. You'd love this shit. It was like a healthy brand.
It was a healthy gum?
Yeah, they use xylitol instead of aspartame, which is
yeah,
bad
that's great.
for you.
Yeah, aspartame is a
So I had to go to all the candy expos, and then my girlfriend she works in like graphic design for candy.
Right,
companies.
and she does marketing type stuff.
Yeah. But she does a lot of clients who are candy because you work with one candy company and then they just keep hiring you.
Of course, that's how the candy business works.
So we would see each other at the same expos and shit.
That's hilarious.
But what kind of candy do you like? Gummy candy?
Well, I grew up with like Twix and Milk Duds.
Okay, sure. So you're a chocolate guy.
I was a chocolate guy.
Now you're not.
But I'm not because I cut lactose because lactose was giving me a lot of zits and acne in college and right after college.
I know that,
yeah. And so now the only time I have lactose is with pasta if I put cheese in it. However, the hard cheeses that I use actually have low or zero amounts of lactose.
Hard cheese.
Pecorino, Parmigiano Reggiano, those cheeses that I put in the pasta that you had the other
Italian?
day. Yeah.
Okay, this is adding up.
So
this is all coming together.
But the candy thing is when I was in college and people would be studying for like finals or midterms, everybody would be popping Adderall. I'd go to the corner store on campus next to the bookstore, get a pound and a half of candy, 10 chocolate-covered graham crackers, which they don't fucking have anymore at UC Santa Barbara.
Yes,
no, my store doesn't have them anymore.
So you're telling me your Trader Joe's or Target.
Different kind. Different cracker. They had my candy store at UC Santa Barbara had the bins, right? With each bin had a different candy in it. So I would go through and I would get like the massive chocolate-covered, toffee-covered almonds. I'd get Sour Patch Kids.
Local shops have those.
But dude, the thing is they had them. They were this specific type of chocolate-covered graham cracker that was so thick with chocolate. It's different from Trader Joe's. It's different from the Keebler shit. It's different from all the other ones I've had.
Really?
I don't know where they sourced it, but it's not there anymore.
Make it yourself. You love to cook. You just made
I'm not a pastry guy. I make pasta.
It's a graham cracker and chocolate.
I know, but I gotta find
it. It's not the Great British Baking Show.
That's the treat of it, is that it comes to me.
I'll find you some thick. Here's what we're gonna do.
Find me some thick chocolate covered graham cracker,
call
and I'm happy.
a sweet shop and ask them to make it for you. The sweet shops do that shit all the time.
It's gotta be the right kind. But I'm down to go on this journey with you. This sounds like an adventure. Do you have a sweet tooth?
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
What do you eat? What's your go-to? Everything?
It's easier to tell you what I don't eat. I don't like dark chocolate and I don't like licorice. I'll eat anything else.
Licorice is pretty bunk.
Yeah. Licorice is bad unless it's Twizzlers. But you have your licorice purist, just like you're a food. You're like a health purist. There's people who are like, well, licorice is the superior. There's people who are like licorice and dark chocolate.
But licorice comes at when you say licorice, people immediately think you're talking about Twizzlers.
No, I'm talking.
But we're talking real licorice. Because I will say I've had delicious licorice. I have. You have. But it was like a small little piece that was super super fancy. It wasn't any of the ropes or anything like that.
The ropes, the ropes are red vines are the kind of the ones the licorice aficionados like.
Yeah, I can't do it. I don't like that.
Bitter candy? Like, what are you doing?
What are we doing here? What's the purpose?
What
the fuck?
What are we bitter
What's
candy?
What's the purpose? Yeah. So, but I'll have candy as like a pre-show snack sometimes.
Yeah. Favorite candy? Go.
Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids. Good choice.
The blue ones.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
I'm going favorite candy. I'm going Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a Sweet Tarts came out with something called Sweet Tart ropes.
Oh, are they
a
like
few years
Nerds
ago.
ropes?
No, they're a little different. Also, I'm fairly certain they discontinued Nerds ropes. Sorry, listeners.
Bummer.
It was horrible for them to make it. I don't know if I'm allowed to give this out.
Really?
I go to the booths and I would just like
Why? It was just like hard to
Yeah.
get the nerds to stick to the rope.
I would go to these expos and I would just get like really high and I would just go to the booths and just talk to them about candy.
Oh my
I'd be
God.
like, what's it like to make the ropes?
That's
and they were like,
hilarious.
it's a pain in the ass and no one buys them.
Really?
Yeah, they like where you see Nerds ropes all the time at Chuck E. Cheese. It's like one of the it's like one of the
'cause they just give 'em
prizes.
away.
Yeah, it's like one of the prizes.
So it's like it turned into a marketing tool for Wonka.
I think they just I think they had a little bit of success with them, and then they just were like had a fucking like I remember the end of Indiana Jones where there's like crates of there's all those crates at the end.
Yeah.
I think they had like a storehouse full of Sour Patch Kids are good though.
Sour Patch Kids are great.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how
Skittles are overrated.
There's an actual candy called Wonka now?
Oh, that is it was before
know-
the movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it was before the movie.
I thought it was after.
No, it was before the movie.
But the movie wasn't based on it.
I've actually
right?
looked that up. I'm fairly certain that it was before the movie, and it was always just kind of well known to be like a good candy company, like a chocolate company, or
Talking to the mic.
or I'm mistaken, and they were started after the movie came out. You might be right. I can't remember which one it is. We're both on our phones. I'm looking at pornography. Did Wonka exist before the movie?
Did Wonka exist before the movie?
Oh, before the book. I'm sorry, before the book. It started out in the book first.
So there was a book.
Yeah, Roald Dahl.
Oh, that's right. Yep, that's right.
I'm wrong. All right. I know when I'm wrong. All right, guys, it's been fun. I'll see you later.
You're a fool.
I'm a fool.
When
was the last time you had ice cream?
Dude, ice cream is my shit.
Oh, but you could have it lactose free.
No, when I do ice cream hard. I do ice cream real hard. I'll get 2 to 3 pints, and I'll go to town.
Hell yeah.
And I'll do a minimum of a pint at a time.
What do you?
And I don't put it in a bowl because putting ice cream in a bowl is what psychopaths do.
I agree. I think it should be right out of the container.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
You're also.
It comes in a bowl.
It comes in a bowl.
It literally comes in a bowl.
The same way pizza comes in a plate.
Yeah.
In a covered plate.
Yeah.
Ice cream comes in a bowl.
Ice cream comes in a bowl.
Yeah.
So I'll do only, but it's also like fancy and expensive ice cream. I don't do Ben and Jerry's anymore.
Ben and Jerry's is great. What are
love
we
Ben and
talking
Jerry's.
about?
Love Ben and Jerry's.
It's a fantastic product. Great
but
marketing.
if you go down the street to Salt and Straw and you see a blackberry cheesecake jam with virgin apple, strawberry, rhubarb, earthworm dirt, salt, Himalayan salt ice cream.
This took a turn.
You're gonna tell me you're not gonna try that?
I would try it.
I go there. I go Ginger's is also down the street.
All right.
And all these places, they make it in-house, and they're all like super fancy, and they just have different. But they're not like fancy. They're not like pretentious fancy. They're like
they're like foodie fancy.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's like brown, like dark caramel brownie fudge.
Do you see Pig?
Or something like that? What's that?
Did you see Pig?
Have you seen the movie Pig
I
starring
love
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, did you see it?
I fucking love.
I love that
Pig
movie
starring
too.
Nicolas Cage.
That was a really good movie.
That was a whole thing that I did on my Instagram for a while.
Oh, you did? I saw you post it.
I would post about it like every day for a week and a half.
It's a good fucking movie.
It was phenomenal. I'm going through a Nicolas Cage phase right now.
Adaptation is one of the best films ever made.
Okay, I'll put that on my list. But I just
You've
watched.
never seen Adaptation?
He's an author, right?
Oh my God, have you seen Being John Malkovich?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in real life, they went to the guy who wrote Being John Malkovich, Charlie Kaufman, and they were like, "This movie was great. We need you to make an adaptation of a New York Times best-selling novel about orchids." So they gave him this like really hard task about a book, so the book doesn't really have a story in it. It's just kind of about flowers, right?
Yeah.
And he goes crazy trying to make this movie. So instead of making the movie they want, he makes a movie about making the movie. So Adaptation is about Charlie Kaufman making the movie that you're watching, and it stars Nicolas Cage, and he's fucking incredible.
Of course he is.
He's really good at it.
He is incredible. He gets a lot of shit for making a lot of movies, but if you watch
Snake Eyes is bad.
I haven't seen Snake Eyes.
You haven't seen Snake Eyes?
No, because you just said it's bad.
Well,
that's probably why I haven't watched it.
Well, it's bad, but it's like Cheetos bad.
Have
it's
you
like
seen Have you seen Mandy?
Not yet. It's
have
on
you
my
seen
list.
Prisoners of Ghostland?
I don't. Is that a real movie? Like a good
Dude,
one?
these movies that Nicolas Cage
Mandy
has chosen
is good.
to do. Mandy's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm dying to see
it. It is a crazy dark psychedelic trip.
Yeah.
Prisoners of Ghostland is also nuts. The next one I want to watch is Willys Wonderland.
Willys Wonderland?
Where Nicolas Cage gets stuck in a indoor like carnival amusement park, and all of the animatronic animals come to life and try to kill him. And the reviews are nutty. But Nicolas Cage himself, I read Jim Carrey's autobiography. Have you read that yet? His book. It's one of my favorite books of all time.
Really?
It's part true, part fantasy. It's like the psychedelic aspect of it is pretty crazy. But he talks about how he's best friends with Nicolas Cage, which I never knew.
What a hang.
But it totally makes sense.
What a hang.
Yeah. Can you imagine hanging out with Nicolas Cage and Jim Carrey?
I mean,
like going to dinner with them.
That's pretty. Like we're assuming they're gonna act like The Mask and like.
How do you, dude? Together? I bet they do.
I think
they're
talking
together.
About their stocks and their
no. I think they're talking about what it's like to astral project with the ghost of Gandhi for 14 hours.
Where do you think they're going out to dinner? You think they're going out to some fancy, or do you think they're going to Carl's Jr.?
I think they're going to a secret yurt. Like up in northern Malibu that feeds them, some type of live monkey eyes that have been blessed by a shaman in Peru.
That is so funny.
Yeah, dude, those guys get it.
They're best friends.
That's what I read. Yeah.
What does he tell? Does he give any inside scoop on the mind of Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, but in a way, you got to read the book.
All right.
Are you a reader?
I'm a huge.
Do you
reader.
know how to read?
I don't.
I should ask you that because your people historically don't.
Okay, we do. Asshole. We do. We invented it.
You guys did invent everything.
No, we think we invented everything.
Who invented math?
It's kind of between the Greeks and the Persians who say we invented, and the Arabs too, and people from Africa.
But would
I think anybody from that kind of area of the world that's kind of
doesn't Arab cover a large sect of people?
Yeah, but I'm Persian. I'm not Arab.
And can you tell me the difference? I'm so sorry, but I'm
it's
trying
like
to learn.
Geographical. Like I was born in Iran, but then Iran.
So some countries are considered Arab, some countries are considered Persian.
But back in the day, Persia was like a huge area in the Middle East because they ruled like a big portion of it, and then I think after World War I, their borders got broken up, like a lot of other countries.
Yeah,
and I think now the border actually represents people who are Persian. Persians speak a different language. We eat different kinds of food. Like our food is. Closer to Greek food than Arab food. Like our Persian food is like an amalgamation of Arabic food and Greek food to me.
Is that
I love Greek food and I love I love Greek food and I love Arab food, but fucking Persian food's where it's at, man.
Is it? What are the main types of foods within that cuisine?
We do a lot of kebabs and rice and like a lot of like stews and a lot of good decent amount of seafood.
Yeah, because you're closer to Greece.
We're closer to Greece. And then where the part of Iran I'm from, it's very tart flavors, which are tart and bitter. Which is crazy because I don't like licorice, but I love tart. Like I could eat a whole lemon.
Wow.
I'll get real high and eat a whole lemon.
That's
with like salty
crazy.
Crackers. And it's like
what?
Yeah, it's real bad for your teeth and your whole entire.
But it's probably good for your body. Because lemons are alkaline. They alkalize your system.
Yeah, but it burns going down. And,
sure.
And it's probably not good for acid reflux.
That's true.
Yeah.
Why don't you just squeeze a lemon into water and have some lemon juice water?
Yeah, but I like the pulp.
Oh, God, you're psycho.
I love the pulp of a lemon. If I get a drink and it comes with a slice of lemon, I'll eat the lemon.
You should blend it into a juice. That could be your new breakfast.
Okay.
You put a bunch of. That's actually I used to do that for a while.
I don't live my life like that where I can get up and get up at 6 and make a juice.
No. Getting up at 6. Jesus Christ.
Shut up, Ray. You're getting up at 6.
I don't get up at 6.
Squeezing beets into a cup. You're doing 4 hours of fucking.
No, you know what I used to do though, and I did this literally because I read that Beyonce did it. Is I would wake up, and the first thing I would put in my body is a full glass of water with cayenne pepper.
Oh, I've heard that too. Actually,
juice.
I was ready to dunk on you, but that's actually fair.
I chugged that literally as soon as I woke up.
That's very good for you,
it curbed my hunger for 3 hours.
Oh, really? I didn't know that was the effect. I heard it. I'm a bad morning. Oh wait, well, what can I talk about on that? I'm a bad morning pooper.
Yeah,
I take real. You know what?
You take a bad poop in the morning.
I use the term bad poop like an uncomfortable poop.
Well, then you got to do this lemon water.
I got to do this lemon water.
You got to do the Beyonce water.
You ever heard this term that all the kids, all the super woke kids are using called trauma dumping?
What is that?
Trauma dumping is when, and I actually like this one. I gotta tell you, usually I hear the kind of this new age words, and I'm usually like, shut up. But this one
These woke terms?
These woke terms, but this one I kind of like.
Okay, what is trauma dumping?
Trauma dumping is when you're talking to someone and you're having a very casual conversation, or maybe they text you out of the blue, and then they just dump all this trauma on you, like all this that you weren't ready for and you don't want to talk to them about, and you're like, hey, this isn't the kind of conversation I wanted to have. Like, I like that one because people do that all the time. You'll be like, hey, man, how's it going? You say that conversationally, and then they just like, well, I talked to my stepmother, and me and her don't really get along. And you're like, I don't know you. I don't know this. And you're just saying, you're not even talking to me. You're talking at me. Yeah. My goal, my only purpose in this conversation is to like
rebound and
and say, oh, I'm so sorry.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, right?
I've had that done to me before.
It's terrible. I hate it.
I didn't know the phrase, though.
But I heard trauma dumping, and I was like, I take one of those every morning.
Yeah.
Trauma dump. Yeah. Every morning, right? Yeah. That was tough. I got to get a squatty potty or something.
You should get a squatty potty.
I don't like I don't like it. I don't like
what? I don't have one, but I've used it.
I don't like bathroom accessories. I'm gonna clean
what about
it.
A plunger? You don't need to clean it. You just gotta put your feet on it.
It touches the toilet. I don't know. I'm a very clean dude. But you have a squatty potty?
No.
What?
I don't have one.
I'll just stack up books.
Because I poop. I got good poops. My poops are good.
You stand up and poop like an ostrich.
But I also I poop well.
Well, yeah, but you're not eating dairy and you're eating.
Yeah. I don't eat a lot of bread.
You don't eat a lot of bread?
I don't eat a lot of bread, no. Just the pasta night.
This is a donut town, dude.
I know. Did you know? And New York is a crepe town.
Okay.
I just learned that.
Whoever told you that, I think
it's true.
Kind of full of shit.
No,
nowhere's a crepe town.
You walk around New York, everywhere there's a bunch of crepe spots.
I do remember that from being in New York. Unfortunately,
just like there's a bunch of donut spots here. New York is like crepe.
So
bunch of crepes everywhere.
Chicago's Polish sausages.
Well, Chicago is just meat.
Yeah,
Chicago's just like, here's meat.
You're a big fan of Pequods.
Pequods.
Let's get you endorsed.
Oh, I would love that.
Let's tag the guys.
Well, that's the thing. When I go on the road, I eat whatever is delicious and local. I actually have a whole list that I've been building per city.
What's on your Chicago list?
Pequods.
Other than Pequods. Pequods.
I know I always say it wrong. It's so embarrassing.
It's not. It's funny. It's cute.
What else is on my Chicago list?
I'm just curious.
I don't think Chicago has been built yet. Okay. But the last time I was there, there's a steakhouse that's like super expensive that I want to try.
Bavette's?
I don't remember the name.
That's the one you got to go to is Bavette's.
Okay. And then there's something what's that main strip that people shop on?
Michigan Avenue.
Yeah, there's something on there that I saw last time. I haven't written it down yet, but there's something on there that's
don't
like
go
fancy.
Anywhere on Michigan Avenue.
But then I on my list I have Dallas.
Dallas probably a lot of barbecue.
Dallas, no, here's what Dallas was. There's a place in Austin, dude. Oh my God.
I feel like you would hate Austin.
Big fan of Austin. Dallas, Emporium Pies. There's a pie place. The Pecan Lodge.
Wait, pie, not pizzas? I love pies. Pies are
delicious.
Yeah, pies are the best.
Dude, I don't like cake.
You don't like cake?
I don't like cake. This whole episode is about food.
That's fine. I'm so hungry. You don't like cake?
No, it's too cakey. If I want to eat a sponge, if I want to eat a sponge, I'll go to the dollar store. I'll buy a sponge. I don't want to eat a cake.
But also,
you're telling me to eat air. It's 50% air.
Cupcake.
Fuck a muffin.
What do you mean
kiss my fucking ass, dude.
The
only good part of a muffin is the head of the muffin.
If you bake it stupid, sure. If it's well baked, the stump of the muffin can be very.
The stump of the muffin is like the dirt of a potted plant.
No, the top of the muffin is the accoutrement, and the stump is the.
Die over this. I will die over this. The top of the muffin is crusty and caramelized and delicious. The stump of a muffin tastes like if I ate your beard. The shit is so gross. It's pointless.
I ate your beard.
It's like, oh, let's make a cookie and put it on top of a chunk of styrofoam. That's what a muffin is.
You understand that the stump of the muffin is made with the same ingredients that are in the top of the muffin.
Yeah,
it just
but
gets a little more. It just gets a little more heat.
Exactly. So I think all muffins should just be we've got to make a muffin tray that's just like an inch tall so that it cooks only the top of the muffin.
They did this on Seinfeld. I can't.
I
can't. They already did this on Seinfeld. There was a whole episode.
Did they?
Yeah. Elaine comes up with an idea, top of the muffin to you, And then she can't.
That's hilarious.
It's hilarious, but in the show, she just bakes muffins and then rips the top off, but then she can't figure out what to do with the bottom half of the muffins.
You throw it away because it's trash.
It's trash. That's actually have you seen the episode? Because she donates it and then they give them back to her, and they're like, homeless people don't want these bottom.
That's really funny. That's super funny. Yeah. I grew up loving scones, actually.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah. I would always eat scones.
What kind of rich hippie parents did you have?
No, they were like coffee shop scones. Wasn't anything crazy. Tell me about. All right, let's go. Let's pivot from food to comedy. You're in LA now. Welcome.
Thank you.
But it's temporary.
It's temporary in the sense that I can't wait to go back home.
What do you like more about Chicago than
I don't
LA?
need a car.
In Chicago.
I don't need a car.
Correct.
I can drink.
Chicago is a drinking city.
Town. Even though I'm not a big drinker, but I like bars.
Yeah, LA is not a bar.
There's a few I like. I like Jumbo's Clown Room a lot. I go there
sure.
I go there all the time. That's like my favorite place. I like Frolic Room, but that's like on the Strip. But Bukowski used to go there. That's why I like that one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, now this is the weed here is really good. I like that.
Yep.
The mountains are nice. I like the mountains.
Yep.
It's really just
the nature is better here.
The nature.
Beach, you got the beach. You're right near the mountains.
We have a beach in Chicago.
Within 2 hours, you could be at a lake, a desert, a beach, a mountain, and a forest.
Fair enough. We can do forest and beach in Chicago, but it's also a lake beach.
But it's a lake beach.
Yeah,
it's different. It means dead bodies wash up.
It's essentially a toilet.
It's a toilet. Right. So, why are you here? What are you doing here?
I don't know. They tell you to come here and do shows and.
Okay. You're on a show trip.
Yeah, and I'm gonna.
And you're doing my show,
I'm
October 6th.
October 6th.
And then when you go back?
I'm opening for you at the Irvine Improv.
That's right. Oh, so you're here for a while.
I've never done the Irvine Improv.
It's massive.
I heard.
October 28th, Irvine, California.
I'm very excited.
That'll be super fun.
October 6th. Where's your show October 6th?
Santa Barbara.
Tell it to the audience because I clearly know.
EOS Lounge, Santa Barbara.
How far is Santa Monica?
Santa Barbara or
Santa
Barbara's about an hour and a half.
Okay. Can I ride with you?
Yeah. I drive up and back. But we're going early. I got to go early.
I'll go early. I don't give a shit.
Cool.
I don't give a fuck.
We're going to leave around 4.
Yeah.
Cool. And then when do you go back to Chi-Town?
I think I'm going to buy a ticket today for November 1st.
And are you going to come back? Do you see yourself living here?
Yeah,
ever?
I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back 2020.
What you want,
2022.
What you enjoy is kind of LA
culture. Old culture. Movie
like,
I'm a big movie
Yeah,
buff.
you like writing. You want to be part of bigger projects, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to somebody who just wants to do stand-up and tour, which you can technically do from anywhere now.
I thought you were about to ask me what I like about LA, and I was going to say I like all the movie, like all the old history of.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that, then yes.
Have you been to any of the cool theaters out here?
No, I'm going to go. I'm planning on going. I want to go see Dune really bad.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you should go to Vista.
Yeah.
Out in Los Feliz.
Yeah.
You got to go to the Vista Theater.
Is that the
Lamel Theater is really cool.
I've heard that one's on my list.
Santa Monica. Yep.
Yeah. But no, I want to write. Yeah, I like to write. I like stand-up. I like doing stand-up.
Yeah.
This is a tough town to do stand-up in. Crowds are tougher.
It's the worst place to do stand-up, I would say. I would say LA is the worst.
Okay, we can say that in this podcast.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Oh,
the crowds are tough.
I like genuinely don't enjoy performing in LA when compared to performing literally anywhere else.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough, but it's like... It's tough. It's like a couple different places have a different kind of tough, I think. Like the Comedy Store is tough because it just historically been like a tough place to work in the original room at the store.
That I did not know.
You got to be really fucking funny.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody's in there. There's an energy. It is red hot, but you got to be red hot. And if you're not, they will know. It's
kind of like the Cellar. I hear the Cellar's like that too.
Yeah, but I would say the Comedy Store is tough because the people who go there are massive comedy fans and know what they want to laugh at and know what's funny. And so it's like a good kind of tough. And then I've been doing a couple of indie shows that are tough because people are woke and dumb as fuck. And I don't enjoy those. That's what I'm talking about when I say I don't like performing in LA as much. Is I'll start doing material that's like topical. Everybody's wearing a mask, first off, and I fucking hate that. I can't stand an audience that's wearing a mask because there's just no connectivity. There's no way for me to see if anything's working.
I did a college a couple months ago, like a month ago.
It's awful.
It was awful. They were all wearing masks, and I thought I was bombing up there. And I was sweating, and I got off, and I talked to the dude who set it up, and I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, I've never bombed this hard before to college. And he was like, you did great.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, I couldn't hear anything. That's right.
Crazy.
I couldn't hear or see anything.
And you can't see smiles.
Yeah, I couldn't.
And at colleges, a lot of the times the kids are just smiling and chuckling, and that's
I would have done more
laugh.
material. I would have done like another 10 minutes if I thought I was doing well. But I pulled the cord because I was like, oh, they hate me. And then when I got off, he was like, no, you're wonderful.
I did South Dakota. I did a show at a university in South Dakota. No, they weren't.
South Dakota does not give a fuck.
South Dakota apparently does not. Was it South Dakota? Yeah, it was.
Indoors
it was
or
South
outdoors?
Dakota State. It was indoors.
And then no masks.
No masks. Yeah. I was happy.
I only got to do like a few of those before they went back to masks.
Yeah. But LA, that's what LA is like right now.
Even the outdoor shows, they'll wear masks. Huh?
I know. It's a culture thing in LA now. And it's really weird, man. It's
Chicago's
really
very
weird.
like, we can't wait to take it off. We'll take it off as soon as you
That's
get in
what
the
New York
building.
was like. New York was like, fuck you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to wear a mask, or I'm not going to wear a mask, but also fuck you.
Yeah.
But most people, everywhere I did shows in New York, no one was wearing a mask.
I kind of, I can do both. I can usually do the clubs and the woke rooms because I'm Middle Eastern. I get away with whatever.
That's cool. Yeah. It's,
I'm sorry.
No,
That
yeah,
sucks.
that's a good card to pull.
Sucks.
But the woke spots, I've only done a couple, and I think it's just because my material right now is a lot of it is very topical and like COVID related or like political related, and I hate everybody in politics.
You're a bit of a libertarian.
I don't know.
You're a libertarian.
I don't even know the fucking definition of libertarian.
Big government or little
I'm
government?
an independent. Can I say that?
Well, yeah, you can.
Big government or little government?
You can say libertarian.
Little government.
But I don't think you're an independent because I think you're too smart for that.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't think you're undecided. I think you have decided.
Oh no, but I would argue that being an independent means you decide based on the time. And the
fair
issue,
enough. Then in
right?
that case, then yeah, okay.
Because I don't know who I'm going to vote for in 2024.
Gotcha. You don't do down party ballot. You're not like
absolutely not.
Okay.
No way. I wrote myself in 2020.
Big government or little government?
Little.
Do you think the government should be little? You're a libertarian.
Yeah. Yeah. Big government.
I'm all about big government.
How and in what regard?
I think people are too stupid to govern themselves, and we need to have regulations.
But
we need to regulate everything. Everything needs to be legal and regulated. I think everything needs to be.
Oh wait, hang on a second. Okay, then now see, I'm learning still.
Yeah.
These.
But that's
concepts.
not libertarian because libertarians say everything needs to be legal, but nothing needs to be regulated.
See, I don't agree with that. I think all drugs.
Well, not everything.
Can we do a example by example
piece,
type
kind
thing?
of independent?
Yeah. So because that's how my brain works best.
Yeah.
I'm so bad
Drugs.
with general broad brushstroke type things. When you talk about drugs, I think drugs should be legalized. 100%. Cocaine should be legal.
100%.
Heroin should be legal.
100%. Everything should be legal.
It should be properly produced.
Absolutely.
Tested.
Yeah.
And regulated.
That'll destroy the cartels.
It'll destroy the cartels. It'll literally save lives.
The HIV
Did
rate
you hear
will go
about
down,
the comedian who died in LA a couple of days ago?
Yeah, I heard about it a few days ago.
I don't know him, but I've met one of the other ones that was involved, so I don't have any direct connections with them.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of people at a party in LA. They were comedians. They did cocaine. It was cut with fentanyl. One died. A couple others ended up in comas. That doesn't happen when you get your cocaine from a
Walgreens,
right, or a dispensary, even
cocaine dispensary.
Yeah, dude. And
what a good name for a band.
There's something. Dr. Carl Hart. Do you know who that is? He's at one of these awesome universities. I forget which, but he's a professor, and he uses drugs in his everyday life. He'll snort heroin in the morning, like little tiny amounts throughout the day, or like whenever he wants. He self-medicates with these very illegal quote drugs. But he does it in a conscious way with intention behind it. And he does it with the purest form
Fascinating. I didn't know
of
about
the
this
drug.
guy.
Yeah, and he's got a PhD. He's at one of these high status universities. I can't think of it, like Columbia or something like that. And he's spoken about what the stigma around drugs is and why they're stigmatized as like people have an addiction, but it's not really an addiction. It's a mental health issue that's transforming itself into an addiction.
That's all that Reagan-Nixon bullshit,
Right, when they were trying to make us all think that, drug addicts are the, foundational cause of bad things in our society. And that's just not it. It's people with mental health problems that are using drugs in a way that they have not been taught about. And so, but anyways, he's talked about this. Somebody else has talked about there's a way to, I'm going to fucking butcher this theory, but it'll come across. There's a way to properly produce a substance like cocaine, and incorporate a chemical compound into the mixture that can prevent you from overdosing. So that your body, so that once you do so much of the cocaine, this chemical compound has also gone into your system, and it actually prevents your body from fucking whatever digesting more cocaine once you've hit a certain amount.
Cocaine.
Yeah. And you either pass out, or like your body just like throws it up, or like you don't die. You don't go into a coma. You don't have a seizure. And I know I butchered that, and there's probably scientists and doctors out there that know what I'm talking about. But something like that makes me want a thing like drugs to be legal and regulated. Yeah. Right. So but then it goes piece by piece, because other things I think
libertarians would say that they would want it legal and regulated, but not by the government. It should be small businesses, or not small, but like corporations and shit. And like, they don't want the government involved in any of that shit. Where I think the last thing we need to do is give control any of that shit to the government.
Talk a little closer to that.
I think the last thing we need to do is give control of that shit to businesses, because you can't trust businesses.
Oh, absolutely not. But can you trust government?
I think you can trust the government more if we just
you think you can trust the government more than you trust businesses? But the thing is, as soon as something like that happens, it goes to like Pfizer, and it goes to all these massive big pharma companies.
In this perfect world where we've legalized cocaine, we have elected officials who are like-minded and have legalized it. So maybe by then
they're trustworthy.
Are trustworthy. That's I think the kind of the disconnect is that like all of this kind of perfect world shit of like prostitution's legal, drugs are legal.
It comes with the politicians who are like-minded.
I mean, this is like 100 years away.
And then, but that perfect world coming with those politicians that are like-minded will also necessitate a certain level of trust for those politicians that we just do not have.
We don't have that right now because of all these I think that kind of this is not regulated enough, because like campaign finance isn't very regulated. Like there's like still a lot of shady shit that goes on with super PACs.
Yeah.
Like we gotta do away with all those.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a fascist. Who knows?
What else would you define as a positive outcome of a big government type system?
I think outside of that, I'd have to think about it for a second, because outside of regulating the things that are like they fight every day, well, they could also the mic. I'm
there. You go.
Far away. I'm breathing heavy. Well, what's the one that some of the kids are talking about that I like? Universal income. That's like a good idea. That's like some
universal basic income.
Yeah, that's like some Star Trek shit.
I've heard pros and cons to that. I don't.
It makes sense to me.
I do not buy into the thought that universal basic income will make people lazy.
I don't think it will either.
I do not buy into that.
Wholly
I think that's stupid as hell.
You give people enough money to survive, and then you let them make anything else. You don't lose the American
dream. They still work. We still have janitors. We still have people picking strawberries. You know what I mean? We still, none of that is going to change.
I completely agree.
We will always have a system for nobody's just going to start making money and then blow it in. There will be people like that, but they're not going to be able to survive. Then they already do that.
Yeah.
They already will commit a crime and then go blow that money at a strip club, or work a night shift and then go blow that money on drugs. I don't buy into that.
And then probably like housing. Housing is probably the other one they could do really easily.
Housing, yeah.
Yeah, because there's enough space. I've read all the, this is the Catholic in me talking, but there's enough real estate in this country to presumably house every person, Mm-hmm. And the only reason we're not doing it is just because, like, we don't. But I think if you elected the right people down the line, you could just be like, let's just house everybody, let's just
that'd be nice.
They did that shit in
San Francisco's building little portable home type things.
They did that shit in Idaho. They did that shit in a very conservative part of Idaho, and it worked. And they didn't.
What did they do? Bring homeless off the streets, put them in houses?
Yeah, put them in houses, and they didn't. It wasn't a political decision. It was just an experiment. It was like, let's just try this shit and see if it works, and it worked. And I read the article on it. Like, I think won a couple awards, but it's a fucking bummer of an article, because they moved this lady in. Mm-hmm. This homeless lady. She's been homeless for like a decade or something, and she wouldn't sleep in the bed. She would sleep on so the first night they brought her into this home, and they were like, "It's yours." She would sleep in like the living room.
See, but the homeless
she slowly moved upstairs. She would sleep in the hallway.
By little. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then when she finally got in the bedroom, she would sleep like under the bed or and they asked her, they're like, "Why don't you?" And then she was like, "I don't want to get used to it because I don't want it taken away from me." That's how the article. That's how the article ends. And you're like, "Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!" But the good news is the program worked. It lost its funding, organic. I think there's just the funding dried up, and I believe
everybody got kicked out of the houses.
No. I believe independent people came in and funded it. I think the thing happened where the government was like, oh, we can't fund this. That made the press, and then people stepped in and were like, well, we'll fund it.
That issue with housing people and the homeless issue is wildly complex.
It's
because
so complex.
There
we
are
can't
so
even
many.
imagine that we know what we're talking about.
Absolutely not. But I'm sure that is one way, like providing housing to the people who would take it. But if you do like a cross-section analysis of the homeless people out there, a lot of them are choosing that. They would leave the house immediately just to go live on the road. They want to live outside. Some are mentally ill. And just need help.
I think most are mentally, because I think a lot of that comes from when we shut all the crazy houses down. Like that's what we learned in school, anyways. That's what they told us in college.
Really?
Yeah. Like I had a class. I don't know. I'm old, 32 now. I don't remember half the shit I learned in college. But if I remember correctly, there was like one of the. I think again, don't mean to fucking dunk on Reagan, but fairly certain it was Reagan. Who was just trimming fat, quote unquote, from budgets, and then he hit like long-term housing for people who were like mentally ill, and he just fucking slashed the budgets, and a lot of places closed. Yeah, and like a lot of those people are like veterans and shit too.
Well, that's the next thing I was gonna say is like veterans
the VA needs to step up, but like the VA is so busted. I had so many college friends who were
it's so
veterans,
fucked.
and they always talked about it. They were.
It's crazy. Veterans are like the most overlooked and underappreciated portion of people in America.
Have you seen They Shall Not Grow Old?
No.
The World War I documentary that Peter Jackson made? Man, there's a whole...
Is it made out of all the clips?
Yeah.
No, but I heard about it.
It's incredible.
Really?
It's beautiful.
What's it called? I'm going to write it down right
now. They Shall Never Grow Old, or They Shall Not Grow Old. But there's a part of it where it talks about how when the World War I ended, the soldiers, it's like interviews with them, right? And they're like, oh, I'm going to go back and be treated like a hero. And they go back and it's a fucking nightmare. Yeah. Like they are shell shocked. Like they don't have like any medical like experience to deal with the shit they're going through. They don't know what PTSD is. And these dudes, I mean, World War I was like as bad as it got. Yeah. That was some horrific shit. Yeah. And these guys are like legitimately shell shocked. Like they're like fighting people in the street because they're like, think like shit's, people would sign like hang signs up in their businesses that were like no veterans. Yeah, dude. Because that's so crazy. Yeah, it would suck for them. It kind of still. And the government was like, sorry, we don't have the money because we just fought a war. We're not going to do anything to help.
Yeah, and they don't have any type of, and I am not an expert on this stuff, so I'm just speaking off headlines and anecdotes that I hear from other people. But it's still to the point where there isn't a structure in place that supports people coming back. No. From Afghanistan even. No. Like just in the past couple of months. We've been out there for decades, right? Yeah. And now we're all of a sudden pulling everybody out, and there's people that did you watch there's a that movie that just came out that's also what's it called? It's a documentary about these guys in the worst part of Afghanistan.
Oh no, I love documentaries now.
Oh cool. Okay, let me look this up real quick. I'm gonna type it in Afghanistan documentary war 2021. It's called Aleppo. No, not Aleppo. Constepo. Fuck. What is it? Afghanistan documentary.
I'm trying to think.
Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Restrepo.
Oh, Restrepo's been around for a little bit.
Has it?
Yeah, Restrepo's been. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, it has. 2010.
Yeah, it's been on my list for a while.
Okay, so I just watched it. I thought it was brand new.
No,
it's been around since 2010. It's been around
since 2010. It won all the awards and shit. I just haven't seen it yet. I heard it's heavy. That's like it's one of the reasons I've been putting it off.
Very heavy.
I'm sure it is. Yeah,
but in a good way. You know, I didn't know what was going on out there.
Dude, it's bananas.
Crazy.
These guys.
It's crazy.
Could you join? Could you?
Dude, I am such a bitch.
Yeah. Have you ever shot a gun?
No, but I really would like to. And I got an invite to a place out here, so I'm going to take them up on it.
I love guns.
Do you really?
I think they're so cool.
Do you own one?
No, I'd like to own one.
I would own one when I have a house. I don't think I'd need one.
That's here. Another kind of like a gun regulation, because I'll talk to gun nuts and they'll think I'm on their side. And I'll be like, well, like, because I think we need to do what Australia did and no handguns. It's just
why?
It's just because they cut down on shootings and shit. Because they only have long arms. You're only allowed like hunting or like shotguns or rifles, which aren't man killers. Like if you think about that logical scenario, you're trying to shoot a place up. You walk in with a shotgun, you're gonna get one. You're gonna get one thing. You're gonna get one round off before people panic and run away. And if there's someone if there's someone with a pistol there, like a police officer, you're gonna get taken down.
True, and that's a decent argument.
Yeah.
But then you have to compare the culture of America to the culture of Australia and the history of how this country was founded, because there are so many guns here.
There are a lot of guns here, but you can get rid of them.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
Not a chance.
Yeah,
not a chance in hell.
You think these pussy ass militias are gonna fucking put up with I love this part where like people are like, if the government wants my AR, they're gonna have to come take it. Like they will. Like that's the point of regulating things.
But the point of having the ARs to protect from the government doing that.
Yeah, those hillbillies think they're gonna fucking.
Those hillbillies.
It cracks me up when they think they're gonna they're gonna come take. Yeah, they are. They're gonna fucking send a drone.
You're
and
gonna get hate for this part.
You think I am?
Absolutely.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude.
I mean,
argue your point. Argue your point. So if.
Like we shouldn't have ARs. Like I'm all for guns, but those don't need to be accessible to the public.
Okay,
right? Those are killers.
I would argue that the ARs have a very specific function, right? And a lot of people think that function is twofold. Function A,
if you hit me with
for an
home
AR,
defense.
No. That's not what I'm gonna hit you with. Function A is for what is it, like feral pests?
Okay.
In certain states.
I didn't know that.
Which is legit. Texas is being overrun with wild
feral
boars.
Pigs and shit.
There's like parts of the East Coast that are covered in all these deer that are repopulating at crazy rates and fucking up the environment.
Yeah.
And it's really, really bad. And the boar you actually have to take out with a high-powered assault rifle because of their skin is so tough that you really got to fucking kill them.
Okay, fair enough.
Now here's the thing.
But you need a semi-auto. You need a semi-auto. You don't need a fully.
I don't know the specifics. I don't know that world. Maybe it's easier with the former rather than the latter.
No,
maybe
that's the
easier.
issue. Is these crazies are buying guns that are like several rounds a second, like crazy shit. Because there's all these like loopholes that gun manufacturers can get around.
Yes.
And if we just I don't know.
Maybe. And now here's phase 2, right? Phase 1 is like the legit feral infestation problem of animals, to which the gun might be the best, easiest, fastest, cheapest option.
Sure.
Number 2, you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
It's freedom, baby. Number 2 is freedom. Number 2 is America. Yeah. Number 2 is good old-fashioned American freedom. Number 2 is literally the principle that the country was founded on, and people can hate it all they want, and I think
it is still freedom.
My absolute opinion is that you just don't. ARs are stupid, and you don't need one. But I don't think they should be illegal or taken. I just think they're dumb as fuck to own. But the freedom argument. And just the freedom to own one for fun, to go out back in the woods in Louisiana and shoot a tree just for fun.
Sure.
And shoot like target practice just for fun. The way I go play basketball just for fun.
Yeah.
Like there's a joy that comes from a hobby like that. And it doesn't get much more American than that argument.
People misunderstand what freedom is. And I don't like it about Americans. You guys don't get what freedom is, and it's frustrating to me. Because freedom isn't you can do whatever you want. I think American freedom is you have your voice represented. So if enough people get together and they decide that certain firearms are unnecessary and cause more harm than good, and until we get the mental health crisis in this country figured out,
we never will.
That's pessimistic. Ever. I don't think that's necessarily
I don't.
True.
Well,
or until we can figure out a way to allow guns to stay out of the hands of people like that. Maybe there needs to be some litigation as far as like the NRA, or like there needs to be some Supreme Court battles over like what certain states are doing. But I don't think freedom is that you can do literally whatever you want, consequence free. I think freedom is you get enough people together, you make some changes, and then those changes are implemented. And then if the people who don't like it are mad, they can change it on the next election cycle.
Well, right. That's exactly
my
what it is.
definition of freedom.
So what you're saying is that's how you would vote.
Absolutely.
In that process. But it shouldn't be just up to the government to just make that happen. We gotta.
No, that's fascism. But I think if enough people were like I don't know, like when people man, you know what separated it from like conversation to like, yeah, let's do something about this is Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
Because that shit was fucked up.
Yeah.
And what sprung from it was really gross because then people were like, oh, this didn't happen. This is a government conspiracy, which was like the grossest opinion.
Yeah, that's so weird.
I hated that.
That's so
which is
weird.
also the reason I don't get Joe Rogan, because he put that dude on a show and was like, he's my friend. And I was like, how can you buddy up next to a dude who like your like 8-year-old kid just got shot?
Did you listen to the most recent one with Alex Jones?
After he
fact checked him every 2 minutes.
Still, you can't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. What, like, did he punk him out or did he just fact check him? Like,
no, he fact checked. He had his boy. He was like, "Hang on a second. Pause there, Alex. You're ranting. Now I'm gonna go back 10 seconds and Jamie check this. And what you just said was da 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 da. Okay, Jamie.
But
check
Alex
that.
Jones isn't. He's a meme.
I'm not defending.
I know
Rogan.
I
could give a fuck less.
I know you don't like him. We agree on that.
Well,
yeah.
I do like him.
Oh, I didn't.
I do like
him.
him. Yeah. I know a lot of people think I hate Rogan for the impressions I do. I do genuinely.
I don't dislike the guy, but when he had Alex Jones on his show, it was like that's crossing the line, man.
That's fair. I mean, sure.
Literally anybody else, you can have any other right wing nut job you want on your show, but I was like that one, like I don't know, man, because he like those parents like took his ass to court and were like, you fucked up my life, and he lost, and then in the court case he had to be like, oh, this was an act, like he fucking snitched on himself and no one cared, which pissed me off so much because in the court documents he was like, oh, this is all an act, I don't actually believe this. Let me have custody of my kids. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, nah, the evidence is kind of pointing that you're a nut job. And he lost custody of his kids and he went nuts. But he still fucking snitched on himself.
Okay, back to the guns.
Well, I like if you show me, like that was kind of the turning point for me where I was like, let's make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Like that, like clearly they're going, the wrong people are getting a hold of them until we can get this shit figured out.
Take them all?
I mean, not all, but like, I'm
think
basing this off
criminal's gonna criminal. Criminals are going to criminal. Criminals are going to find a way to criminal.
Yeah, you're right.
If I want a gun, I could literally go get a gun within 2 hours, without the serial number on it. I could find that. The culture of guns and crime in America is different than any other country in the world. So I don't know, and it's really hard for me to lean to the side that any type of massive sweeping gun regulation laws that include taking or restricting guns is going to help.
Yeah.
I'm much more on the side of let's take all that energy and put it into mental health, dude. All that energy of trying to take that fucking thing Joe Biden included in a recent bill where it's like it's a wrist guard that prevents you from snapping back a lot so that you can fire more. That none of these mass shootings included that, I don't think. And if you fact check me on this, guys, because I'm kind of talking out of my ass by memory.
The bump stock did.
I'm talking about the wrist guard. There was something that he included that was so irrelevant. It was like a sneaky thing.
I'm not a dude who's just gonna blindly like support any politician, but I will say in that one seemed preventative because the bump stock shit happened after the Vegas shooting. And they were like, oh, this is a problem. This turns a semi-auto into an auto. Mm. And then they were like, well, let's get rid of it. And then I think this one is preemptive. I think since the Vegas shooting, I think they're scouring the market for things that will do that. That will like.
Sure.
And I think the other one is 3D printed guns. That's the one that they're not.
Well, that's going to be really dangerous.
That one's the really dangerous. That's the kind of shit that I'm talking. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the kind of like.
But that's the thing that's inevitable.
If you don't regulate this shit, it's just going to get weirder and weirder and darker and dark. I don't know.
That's inevitable, but I think there are ways to regulate it without going around and taking everybody's guns.
Maybe it's because I'm not involved in gun culture and I'm not like.
I'm not either. So when something horrible
happens, I'm like, oh, I don't see.
You don't see a whole other side. There's another guy who's like a gun expert, like Second Amendment freedom type guy. He's a lawyer, and he talks about how there should be. We're good on gun regulations. That's what he says. He said we're good. We don't need them. We don't need any more than we have right now. In fact, we should loosen them a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, and his whole argument is the crazy people argument. But the thing I don't agree, not crazy people. What did I just say? The mental illness issue and the mental health crisis in the country. What I would love to see, but I still need to educate myself a little bit more, is two things specifically. One is it's harder to get one legally.
Yeah,
a little bit harder. You should, walking in and out. Think
That's
of how hard it is to get
right
a license.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You don't need any training to get a gun.
Sure.
You don't need to fill out any type of like questionnaire about where the safety is. I think that's fucking bananas.
Yeah,
if you can go out, it takes you weeks to get a car. It takes you hours and hours of practice to use a car. A car is a giant weapon. You can murder someone with a car.
Well, they do, and then that's kind of the other argument is Second Amendment people use. It's not a terrible. Well, they're like, well, in Canada, guns are regulated, and like they have like that dude like drove a van into like.
That'll happen anywhere. That's that's
or
crazy.
Like London,
crazy people get a crazy, dude.
Like London,
crazy people get a crazy.
London
Criminals get a criminal.
Strictest gun laws, and they have stabbings. Like
there's always going to be the next thing. You outlaw knives, people are going to come at each other with forks. You know what I mean? There's always going to be that. But what we can do is help the issue by forcing people to be educated and responsible before they own 500 guns. Yes, you can own 500 guns. You need to know how to use every single one of them.
Yeah.
Just like you need to know where the emergency brake is in a car. That's number one.
The solution is probably somewhere in the middle, right?
For sure. The solution
is probably somewhere in the middle of the gun nuts and then the far left.
And the far left people who think guns should just I
think I'm trying to organize my opinion into somewhere where it's in the middle, where it's like, let's not get rid of all guns.
It is, and it might lean.
Let's maybe get rid of the ones that are scary and like fucking fully automatic, damn near.
That's
fully
the thing
automatic.
is, when an answer is somewhere in the middle, even if it leans one way or the other, there need to be sacrifices made by each side.
Exactly.
Yeah, in order to find, because no side's going to win 100%. And if you think you are and you're arguing, then you're a fucking idiot.
Now, you brought up freedom being American. I would argue that compromise is much more American than any other trait or value that people use freedom of speech and freedom and all this shit, which I'm all for. I love this country. I'm a patriot. But I think we shine when it comes to compromise. That's where our entire political system is built on, is what can we do to make most of the people somewhat happy.
Right, because compromise is like is democratic.
It's as democratic as it gets. Yeah. And I don't like, man, like it's tough being like patriotic because I got to argue with a lot of liberals. Even though my politics kind of align with most of their shit, I still find myself like when they dump on America, I'm like, all right,
dude, that's the craziest thing to me.
It's easy to shut them up too because I'm an immigrant. Because I can just be like,
my whole family was immigrants.
Yeah, so I can be like, well, I moved here from another country, and I like it here. Like, what do you want from me?
Right.
Like, I don't. It's a very
and they're like, you shouldn't.
Right?
No,
yeah.
They hate you here.
Yeah. I'm like, I've had a great time. I mean,
the self-hate for being American.
I don't like it.
Nutty.
I don't like it.
It's crazy. The hate for the flag. The hate for
which
America in general.
Which we'll take a step further. That I don't want to like. I like the kneeling shit though because that's American.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't find that unpatriotic. I found that
extreme. That's actually very patriotic.
It's very patriotic.
Yeah, because if you were forced not to kneel.
Yeah. The problem is it became a meme and it became a joke to people like, I mean, this is like one of the things I kind of agree with very liberal people on is like, that was a real thing that started. And then fucking white people co-opted it, and fucking Nancy Pelosi like took a knee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, she's
like,
gross. But the kneeling thing, what bugged me is you can believe that.
Sorry, keep touching your feet.
It's okay, I like it. You can believe that somebody shouldn't kneel, and you can believe that there's a better way for them to show their emotions and share their perspective than kneeling. Yeah, because they should honor the flag and all those who died for it. But to say it should be illegal to kneel.
Oh, that was the dumbest shit in the world.
Or for like Trump or somebody to say, don't let them kneel. That's when you start turning into China, Russia, North Korea. When you're forcing people to stand for the flag.
It's almost fascinating.
No, fuckhead. This is America. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
You can flip it off. You can wave your dick at the flag if you want.
Well,
I don't agree with that.
Not in public. You can't wave your dick at the flag in public.
No, not in public. But you can. You know what I mean? There's nothing more American than the ability to protest peacefully. Yeah. And that's exactly what that was. If you protest peacefully in North Korea, you're dead in an hour. If you protest peacefully in Russia, China, agree. Some of these other countries in the Middle East, you're fucked, dude.
Yeah, you can do that here.
So it's about the way we're communicating what our own beliefs are, and it's gotten so extreme that it's to the point where we're giving each other ultimatums. Like, you should never be able to do this. Instead of, I disagree with the way you're doing that and wish he could find a different way.
Yeah.
But I understand and respect that it's his freedom to kneel at the flag.
Yeah. Or you could be like, hey, I love it.
Or you'd be like, I love it. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Or you could be like, I hate it, but I still, like, that's the perfect opinion.
It's just everybody on the far right that was always like, oh, no, fucking respect. Stand the fuck up. You're not allowed to kneel. No, hey, he is. Yeah, he is allowed.
And what's fascinating, too, is, like, I don't think they realize that their stupid opinion actually hurt their cause. Like, it actually emboldens and strengthens the other side when you're like, take the side against, like, history. When you're like, this should be illegal. And everyone else is like, was this 75% of the population is like, no, this makes sense. Like, this is totally plausible.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, I'll just not watch. Or, like, if you're that mad, you know, like, well, I'll just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, just look away. How long is the fucking national anthem? A minute?
Yeah.
You know, we'll be okay. All right, we'll do this again.
This up.
But I gotta a fucking meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
What do you got coming up? You got shows coming up besides mine?
Yeah, I'm doing a show at the house I'm staying at, October 1st. I'm doing another show. Follow me on Instagram.
Was it like a house party?
A lot of house shows here.
Yeah, but LA is a city of house shows.
Almost everything I have is house shows for now until your show at the Irvine Improv.
Cool.
And then you want it in the 6th is in a place.
6th in Santa Barbara, 28th in Irvine.
But follow me on Instagram. I'll have all those dates.
Tell them your Instagram.
Sohrab is Brown. Sohrab is Brown.
Is Brown.
And then that's my website.
That's your website too?
Yeah.
Sohrabisbrown.com?
Yeah.
You are brown.
I am brown.
It's cool.
No one had the name, so I took it.
That's great. Yeah. All right, Sohrab. See you guys. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I enjoyed having it. Big shout out to the sponsor, Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. Check out magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella for a massive discount offer all through November. Support the sponsors. We all support each other. We all love each other. We all vibe together. Okay? Guys, have a wonderful week. Follow Sohrab. Go check him out live. Come see me live. All my show dates are at brentpella.com/shows. Would love to see you out there in the world. All right? Have a good time. Have a good day. Have a good life. I love you. See ya.